That's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me. What were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
What's up, everybody? This is Brendan from What Were They Thinking? Very special episode here. Would normally be a regular episode where we talk about a bad movie. However, that is going to be next week when we are talking all about Snake Eyes starring Nicolas Cage, so stay tuned for that. However, this episode is the snippet we did for this year's Livestream for the Cure 2018. Hosted by the Epic Film Guys podcast for 3 days, Livestream for the Cure reached their money goal, which is awesome, raising money for cancer research, hashtag fuck cancer. So yeah, this is our snippet that we did on their live stream for 30 minutes. We talk all about Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue. Terrific little awful PSA about drug abuse with cartoon characters that we all know and love. You will hear some interruptions from time to time about donations. That's because donations were coming in live, so at some point sort of responding to some comments in the chat room that were coming in. You'll hear some of that. You'll hear some of us talking about the cartoon as it's happening, as they were playing it on the video stream at the same time. You won't hear the cartoon, but you hear us talking about things as they're happening, so it's going to be a little interactive, and yeah, I hope you enjoy, and again, make sure to join us next week for Snake Eyes.
Biggity bam! Welcome, gentlemen, to the live stream for the Cure. What
Oh my God!
are they thinking?
Came out of nowhere.
We're not ready. Like an RKO, it's out of nowhere.
Put us back in the group.
So, what I'm actually going to do, as a little treat, a visual treat for our audience.
Oh, delightful.
Whatever, YouTube, flag this shitty video for copyright all you want. I'm going to put this in the live stream down in the window so you can see what this PSA was all about.
Oh, you'll be happy to know, as a PSA, I believe it is free of rights.
Boom.
So
We're just trying to save the kids from the drugs.
right.
Or if you read the comments in that are hilarious. It's like, all I want to do is take drugs now and see all my favorite cartoon characters to come to life. But gentlemen, first things first, since I think it's kind of necessary to get into what we're going to talk about here, why don't you tell us a little bit about what were they thinking and what you guys do on the show?
Sure. Well, I'm Brendan.
And I'm Nathan.
And basically we have, it's a weekly show. So every other week we do terrible to at least questionable movie. Basically break it down from start to finish. Do a little bit of poetry. Read some nasty critics and some oddly positive critics reviews. And then the other off weeks we have mini episodes, so we'll answer questions. We'll do, talk about recent movies that have come out, or something that looks terrible that's on the horizon that we both really want to see.
Sometimes an interview.
Yeah, sometimes an interview. We've had people from The Room on the director of American Ninja came by. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. What were they thinking? We're everywhere.
Oh my God. And, well, gentlemen.
Yes.
Why did you decide to talk about the Cartoon All-Stars public service thingy here? We're watching Alf and Garfield. Alf wasn't even a cartoon, so it was
Yes, it was.
weird.
Yeah, it was actually.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was after the series, though, right?
Yeah, it was like they did Alf and then Alf Tales.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like DuckTales with Alf?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was fairy tales and whatnot. So they'd do Hansel and Gretel or Little Red Riding Hood, but they'd replace them all with like Melmac characters.
Oh my god.
So,
That's amazing.
The funny thing is, you said why pick this one. Actually, just before you brought us on the air, Nathan found something out that's fascinating. So, go ahead, Nathan.
oh yes, the original air date for this cartoon was just a minute late, as that it was aired originally in the U.S. on April 21st. So 4/21.
Oh my god.
There's no way that was unintentional.
There is a point in this PSA, and we'll get to it, and I'll probably shout it out when we get to it, because they take legitimately half of the PSA is just introducing all of the cartoon characters.
Yes.
And then the other half of it is legitimately the craziest fucking trip of all time.
It makes you feel like you're on drugs.
It does. It does. I actually have that in my notes.
And just to celebrate the fact that we are talking about an anti-drug and alcohol PSA, Nathan and I are both drinking, so that's good.
Yes.
Well, hang on. Wait a minute.
Oh, shit.
I'm back. You can rally. Woo! Give me a beer.
What are you drinking, gentlemen?
I am drinking a nice Moosehead Lager brewed here in the Maritimes, Union Made, trademark.
And I am a total beer snob here with my can of Budweiser.
See, at least I'm drinking Canadian.
Yeah.
God damn. I haven't had a beer. I'm waiting for this stream break because I got to reset. After this segment, actually, fans, we are going to be resetting the stream before we get into our Tarantino retrospective. So just keep that in mind. So chat, you're going to want to stay where you are because we're going to be resetting the stream. It'll take just about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll be online to do Tarantino. But, gentlemen, I don't even know how to start dissecting this fucking thing.
Well, I'm going to let you know that you'd ask why we chose this. Now, Brendan told me that we were doing these in like half-hour or so increment blocks. So normally when we do our show, we unpack the movie. So that usually takes us about the runtime of the movie to do that. So we were like, how are we going to do that in this situation? And then I immediately thought of this cartoon because it is so bonkers that I remember seeing it as a kid and thinking it was kind of neat because all my favorite cartoon characters were in it. But then flash forward to about probably 20 years later, I watched it on about 420 and was just, this is, they told us to not do drugs by watching this.
My favorite thing, they just showed the shot of the Chipmunks and Alf under the bed looking at the drugs.
Marijuana.
And why do they need an ace bandage to do marijuana?
I don't know.
What is happening?
It looks like he has 2 muffins in there.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I don't understand half of the paraphernalia in that box because that's all they're like. They're like, yeah, it's just dope.
And I don't understand why the kid was stealing money for drugs. He clearly has them.
Well, I think the most horrifying part of this cartoon is that it begins with George Bush.
Yes, and Barbara Bush and their dog Millie.
George, I don't know about you guys, but I thought he looked blitzed out of his mind.
Well, I mean,
He may have been.
don't forget, he was the first Republican president, or the only president actually to introduce a medical marijuana bill and get it passed, right? So there you go. He may have been down with the icky sticky.
Look, marijuana
his
is going to
son
be
is
just
probably
fine.
just up.
John Boehner's pimping for big dope on the hill now. So.
Yep.
Well, you know the Bush Jr. was just off camera giggling the whole time. So.
This is hilarious. I hope I get to meet Alf.
Oh, so yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was disturbed while I watched this. What I thought? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, for me, and like this is one of the funniest things I thought about this whole thing. Like they couldn't come up with like a bad like villain cartoon character to have be the drug thing. It's just this random like smoky looking ghost guy
Played by George C. Scott.
I was about to say George C. fucking Scott.
Patton
why
and
can't-
this.
They couldn't put like the Shredder in here. Like they had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They couldn't do like the Shredder or like some bad villain or Here Comes Bugs Bunny. So they do like Yosemite Sam. Yosemite Sam looks like he would probably do crack.
Elmer Fudd is just fucked out of his mind.
But here's the thing that got me the most about Bugs Bunny telling, and even Daffy Duck telling people not to do drugs, I'm pretty sure both of those characters were born out of drugs.
One of the comments I read in the YouTube video on the post for this was, "Why wasn't Shaggy and Scooby in the?" Wink, 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 wink. Danny Gooden, $34.90. He says he's a big fan of you guys. Just donated to Livestream for the Cure. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks. You know what I thought
Shaggy and Scooby in this?
What I thought was actually kind of disturbing, and I'm surprised they didn't go with it. So, right at the beginning, Nathan was saying earlier before we came on here that Kermit is like in a nightmare world because he's a clock. He's an alarm clock. But wouldn't it have been great if, like, the piggy bank was Miss Piggy?
Then she would have gotten killed by the brother.
The burnout is just smashing the piggy bank. It's like
Help me, no!
murdering Miss Piggy in front of Kermit.
My favorite part about Miss Piggy in this is that she just shows up. Like, Kermit's actually a clock, but she just randomly shows up, like, in the middle of it.
Yeah, but at the first, Kermit's the clock, and then later, he's not a clock. He's just in a hallucination.
Why do the Muppet Babies know what weed is? I have to know.
You've clearly never seen any of the early Jim Henson productions.
I mean, if you look at the Saturday Night
It does
Live
make sense
Muppets,
that they had Theodore, the chipmunk, the smart chipmunk, explain what he thought it was.
Yeah.
Oh, Simon. Yeah, sorry. Theodore.
Marijuana.
Like, weird one.
Oh, when he said marijuana, I was like, that blew my mind.
Marijuana. Like, he's so deliberate about it.
Also, like, wow, they really hammered it. Like, I feel like every kid that watched this at the time would know pretty much every cartoon character and what they're like. Like, you have a fairly good knowledge of what everyone's like. But, I mean, Garfield makes no less than 3 or 4 lasagna references.
That was so shoehorned.
Egregious, because, like, he's like, the only sound more recognizable than a breaking piggy is the crackling
Sizzle
of
lasagna.
That's a stretch, Garfield.
There's a lot of that in this thing, because I feel like the creators of these cartoons only agreed to have them in the PSA as long as they got to be like drop a few of their own catchphrases and whatnot. Because there's a number of different moments in this where there's just characters just doing that.
Cowabunga, dude! I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm literally surprised they didn't have like a little bumper come up every time a character came on screen that said what time their cartoon was on.
That would have been very helpful.
Well, it would have been helpful, but it probably would have been really hard to do because this was simulcast. When it originally aired, it aired on all 3 major networks in the States, and in Canada, it aired on CBC, CTV, and Global, which are our major networks. And we didn't
Tales. We didn't drop a donation to the chat and said, "Stay away from the quote lasagna, kids." Thank you very much, Interrupted Tales. Continuing to drop some donos throughout the night. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate it.
And you guys in the States, you guys got the intro by George Bush and Barbara Bush and Millie, and we got our Canadian Prime Minister, the big chinned schlub known as Brian Mulrooney, as doing our intros for us on 421.
Oh my god.
I'm so disappointed I didn't find that intro.
Yes, Matt Pierce, Lorenzo Music did the voice of Garfield in this.
Yep. It was
that's one of the better things about this, because as somebody that grew up like at this time, like I was a kid, and like, you know, I was born in 1980, so a lot of these are like the voice actors that I grew up with, so I at least got, while I watched this and I was like, at least I got to be like a little tinge of nostalgia, at least, from getting to kind of revisit some of these characters.
Yeah, it was a nice thing that they actually did manage to get everybody who did the voices on the shows to be on the shows. Although it was kind of a jip that they only got Michelangelo, but I feel he was the only one that was kind of in relation to the subject matter at hand.
One thing I wrote down here, I guess we should kind of mention the basic plot. It's just a guy who's addicted to drugs, every drug apparently, and
Not crack yet. Not crack yet.
But he breaks his sister's...
And that's the scene that's on the screen right now. The crack scene.
He breaks his sister's piggy bank, and of course the first thing he says is, there must be $20 in here, easy. There's like 20 nickels. Like, maybe. And then,
They must all be silver dollars.
There you go.
The other thing is Alf making like a Leave It to Beaver reference.
Yes, because all the kids
really-
in the 90s were big on Wally and the Beav.
But basically, these cartoon characters, I think this story is really just about a bunch of cartoon characters freaking this guy that's high, just freaking him out more throughout
Right?
as the cartoon progresses. Yeah, just like taking him on like psychedelic journeys into his own brain and like.
There's no way.
Insane.
I have to ask, and I'll ask you guys, I'll ask people in the chat, has anyone ever watched this high?
Yes,
Because
me.
this has to be the greatest thing ever. When you're just baked out of your gourd.
I feel you might find it very judgmental, though.
Oh, these cartoons are super judgy.
All right, Bill, gentlemen, I hate to interrupt,
Oh, go
but
ahead.
we actually have to roll the prize wheel. Bill Sutton checking in with a $25
Holy!
89-cent donation. Let me go ahead and bam. Let's get over in the chat, everybody who wants to enter the contest right now, hashtag what were they thinking? Hashtag what were they thinking? And the winner is going to get some Epic Film Guys stickers. Go ahead and throw it
Nice.
over there, baby.
What?
Yeah, sorry, continue.
To answer your question, yes, me. I'd say a little under 10 years ago, a friend of mine and I were talking about this movie or this cartoon PSA or whatever, and we were like, wouldn't it be great if we got lit like a Christmas tree and watched this cartoon? And, you know, we're in our 20s, so we're like, well, we need to make that happen then, and we made that happen pretty quickly, actually. And, yeah, we felt really judged by Garfield and Elf.
I love how Alf has to like bully Garfield into participating.
He threatens to eat him!
Yeah,
Yes,
right?
the only way Garfield's going to help this kid get off drugs is because he doesn't want to get eaten by Alf.
That is very, very true. And once again, remember, everybody, if you want a chance at some Epic Film Guys stickers, right now, hashtag what were they thinking over in the chat. Get it in there. And yeah, I did love that. I was like, he's going to... But, of course, Alf did eat cats.
Okay, well,
yeah.
and first of all, Elf comes out of a framed picture that this girl has on her dresser for some reason. A framed picture of Elf for some reason. And then tears a light out of Garfield's back.
Yeah, Garfield is a lamp, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, with this cartoon, is it wasn't just cartoon characters coming to life like out of the cartoon like the Smurfs did. They come out of a comic book. But Garfield springs to life as a lamp. Kermit the Frog springs to life as an alarm clock. Alf comes out of a framed picture. Winnie the Pooh is actually a Pooh Bear that she sleeps with. And apparently the chipmunks live in their records.
Can I say
I think it's almost time for the song. Oh, Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Can I say
with the ducks?
how disturbed I was by Winnie the Pooh like waking up next to her in bed?
Oh, bother.
That was a little strange.
At least he didn't be like, oh, bother. I can't believe I did it again.
Oh god. That was like the morning after for one of Winnie the Pooh's toured affairs. Like that's what it looked like to me.
Did you guys find it interesting that Ron Swanson is basically the dad?
Oh my god, you're right.
And how much time? So they say at the top it's about drugs and alcohol, but really quickly he's like, oh, I think I have a couple beer missing. And he probably drank them during the football game. Oh, okay,
That must be it.
that was it. What was that that supposed to accomplish?
Oh my god.
How we gotta talk about George C. Scott as the drug ghost.
Let's.
Baffling aspect of this production for me.
Because all the kids
you
know
notice
who
that
George C.
sometimes-
Scott is.
Do you know that sometimes he was able to go through walls, and sometimes you could hit him with a garbage can?
Right?
Inconsistency.
Yeah. I demand logistical consistency in my anti-drug PSAs for children.
Exactly. Glad we're on the same page.
This must be. Can we get a meth head in the chat or something to like sing this song to watch this while this? Because this
There's
is
a million ways to say no.
No way! Get out!
Composed by Alan Menken.
His best work.
Oh my god!
There.
There's actually a line in that song where Kermit says, "Next time your friends say, let's get wrecked."
He does. Baby Kermit.
Baby Kermit, yes,
child.
baby Kermit.
He is a young child.
It's not even adult Kermit, it's Muppet Baby Kermit.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And-
I want
and-
to call an end to this really quick here, ladies and gentlemen. Last call over in the chat. Hashtag what were they thinking? I'm going to be drawing in just a couple of moments here.
What was Bugs Bunny gonna say when Alf covers his mouth?
I've got nothing. But what's up,
thought
Doc?
he was-
What's up, Doc?
Okay, I think because the way I heard like truck or something, and I thought Bugs Bunny was just gonna drop the F bomb.
Yeah, no, Alf steals Bugs Bunny's line.
What a bastard!
Well, you know he's Alf, right?
Oh, the Al randomly pulls the kid into the box of drugs.
Okay, first of all, why did he have a mirror in his stash box? That's just poor planning, that is.
Wait, well, remember this is all over the place, but it's fine. Remember when he's hanging out with his like quote unquote friends, and there's right at the beginning when they go to that scene, the girl with like the hipster hat says, "We can score some crack for $10."
She does not look like she's fallen that far.
Oh my god!
How much crack are you getting for $10? I mean, I'm not a crackhead, but
Well, that was the thing about
If we
crack.
have
Is
any
that
crackheads in the chat, please let us know what crack is going for these days.
yeah, please.
no, it was the
I'm asking
90s.
for a friend.
Crack was
Can you
inexpensive.
please tell us the street value of crack in 1990?
There you go.
Fucking Bill Clinton.
George Bush. He was the president.
Clinton ruined it in '92.
Oh my god!
He sent the
Ladies and gentlemen,
price of crack skyrocketing.
Oh, do we have an answer on the crack?
Not about the crack.
Oh, I gotta.
God damn it, Loy
In his
sauce.
stash box, because that's where he lays out the cocaine.
Oh, of course. What was that? See, I'm only used to a
What were
pot
you
stash box.
thinking?
Right, exactly.
But there was only marijuana in the box, Loy sauce.
And don't forget, and muffins.
And
And muffins. And cocaine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead here really, really quickly. It's time to draw the winner of some epic phone guy stickers. Let's go ahead and pull it out here. Bill Sutton donated to get that prize wheel roll, so I guess that's as fitting as anything else. Bill Sutton, winner of some epic phone guy stickers. Congratulations, Bill.
Cheers to you, Bill.
Oh no, I'm almost out of beer. So there's a roller coaster through the human brain.
Oh my! And Gonzo is a brain artist.
Maybe I did watch this high. I'm not sure.
No, that's what happens.
Oh, okay.
Because then they get
I figure
stuck.
that's just its disorienting nature.
Because when they finally do manage to get out of his smoke-filled brain, he's then encountered by talking ducks. So he's clearly still tripping balls.
And now
And,
we're watching. Now it's like the end of it where he's like legitimately going through like just this crazy, like tripped out sequence of crazy shit. Like this would be the hilarious part.
Oh, have you got to the zombie kid yet?
No, I don't know if we're there yet.
Okay.
I don't think we've gotten there.
Because as Actually, you know what? As it gets to that point, he says, "You look like Freddy Krueger." When he looks like he's.
Oh my god! What if Freddy Krueger was part of the cartoon All Stars lineup?
Hey, that's hurtful, Alf.
I could have got Freddy and Jason.
You need to kick the drums, bitch.
Time, bitch.
Michael Myers. Swamp Thing, is that a thing? I think
Actually, Swamp Thing was a cartoon, yeah.
there you go.
Swamp Thing is a thing.
RoboCop. Get RoboCop in there.
God, RoboCop.
This cartoon is so stupid.
I only wish the Alien cartoon had come to fruition.
So here's a question for you
Toys
guys,
for the
because we're
Alien
wrapping out
cartoon.
on this thing here pretty quickly. So if this were to happen today,
Oh my god.
what cartoon characters would you love to see in the 2018 reboot of the Cartoon All-Stars PSA?
Phineas and Ferb. Harry the Platypus.
Absolutely SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah,
There you go.
he's still a thing.
Well, you definitely need to have, what's the snail's name?
Gary the Snail?
Definitely Gary, because doesn't he talk like really slow or something?
No. Meow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I don't watch enough SpongeBob.
I think you're probably thinking of the sloth from Zootopia.
He would have to be, yeah. for
Huey,
sure.
Dewey, and Louie, because the DuckTales reboot is a thing.
DuckTales is timeless.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Milo Murphy from Milo Murphy's Law. I have kids, so I know cartoons.
I was gonna say I don't watch a lot of like modern cartoons, so I'm not sure. Can we include like animated films?
Why not?
Sure.
You know, throw some of the Pixar people in there. Maybe all the emotions from Inside Out.
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
There's the zombie kid.
The Emoji Movie.
God.
Fuck that movie.
Bill says Peppa Pig. Patrick Sherwood says Rick and Morty.
Good call, guys. Good call, Bill.
A pig would be funny.
I was gonna say Timmy Turner, but I feel like Fairly Odd Parents is already like a really trippy show, so I feel like just that's overkill. Adding Timmy Turner and the fairies like Wanda and Cosmo, because Cosmo's got to be high all the time, legit.
Absolutely.
How about Duckman?
Okay. For cartoons from today, Brendan.
Oh well, it's the only one I can think of. All the South Park characters can be in there.
Oh, that would be Towley.
Oh my
Towley.
God.
Towley.
Can you imagine Towley in this? I think you should probably do some more drugs.
Towley would be what George C. Scott is in this cartoon.
There you go. That'd be perfect.
But Towley could be voiced by George C. Scott. Oh wait, he's dead. Never mind. Sorry, I apologize, George
could
C.
find-
Scott.
Legitimately the world's best George C. Scott impersonator, and we'd be fine.
Sorry.
Oh, now he's throwing away the bad drugs. Get away, George C. Scott.
And we gotta go talk to mom and dad, because middle America mom and dads are super great when they find out their kids are on the drugs.
The drugs.
The drugs,
Party,
yeah.
Bill said.
Sausage from Sausage Party.
There's a whole long sequence in that movie where they just get baked.
The toilet paper from that movie, when it walks out of the room and says like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "You don't want to fucking know."
Oh my god. Oh.
If you
PSA
watch
is
the,
unfortunately wrapping up here.
If
Go
you
ahead.
watch the credits for the PSA, the recording studio or the recording, I don't know, people, it was Buzzy's Recordings. Or Buzzy's Recording Studio or something like that.
It's just like a dude on like
Yeah.
it was like a backlot somewhere.
Yeah, and then one
Also,
of the
executive
other
producer
like the
Robert
production assistants was Buzz Potemkin.
Now that's a name.
Yeah.
I wish my name was Buzz Potemkin.
Cartoon characters are fucking narcs.
I just gotta say, as an overall thing, cartoon characters that clearly do drugs should not be telling kids not to do drugs.
Like
I just-
Bugs Bunny and
I
Daffy
agree.
Duck.
Exactly.
Peter definitely does drugs.
It's very
This really made me
hypocritical.
want to do drugs. Like,
The
and
Muppet-
watch this cartoon.
The Muppet Babies are all cokeheads. Let's face it.
Especially
No way,
Gonzo.
no way Gonzo's not brushing some white powder off of his snout.
You don't get a...
In the credits, Wang Productions.
Oh my god. Well, gentlemen, this has been an absolute blast. This was really, really hilarious.
I'm glad we could share this with the world.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I really, really, really appreciate you guys coming on and bringing the cartoon all-star. Yes.
Well, they're to the rescue. They're going to rescue us.
Oh my
I'm going to drink
Guys.
some more beer.
Don't do drugs, guys.
But drink lots of beer.
Yeah.
Just don't let Ron Swanson know you stole his.
Oh, I just spit beer everywhere.
Let our audience know where they can find What Were They Thinking.
Yeah, you can find us on Podbean, www.ttpodcast.podbean.com. You can also find us on basically everywhere, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and Twitter, WWTT Podcast. Instagram, you can find us on the same thing. We're on Facebook. Just search What Were They Thinking, and I think that's about it.
Don't forget all the ones that you made up, Brendan.
No, yeah, with all the fake ones, like the Al Jazeera Network, too.
The Teddy Ruxpin Appreciation Society.
Yeah. Human Sentai Pod.
Yeah, Pod Kit Knife.
Oh my god. Well, thank you, gentlemen, very, very much for being on the show.
What were they thinking?
Thanks so much for listening. Check out Snake Eyes next week on our main episode. You can also find us on Facebook, What Were They Thinking? We have a Facebook group, What Were They Thinking Interactive. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at WWTT Podcast. We are on Redbubble. We got some merch on there. www.redbubble.com/people/WWTT Podcast. We are on all the podcatchers, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean. We have a YouTube page. So, find us, listen, check it out, buy merch. We also have Patreon coming up in August. So stay tuned for that. But that's going to do it. I guess I just have to say, what were you thinking?